Hands in line with your shoulders, hips in line with your knees. Double check yourself so your hands are not too close to your knees. And you also want to make sure that your hands are in line with the shoulders and not too narrow. The hands are turned slightly out, and you're grabbing on with all 10 fingers to the earth, have good contact, and give your hand something to do. And then we're going to pick up the kidneys, and we're going to send the sits bone slightly up to the ceiling, tucking your toes under, and then here we're finding our little hover. The less you lift your knees, the harder this exercise gets. It's not about being a downward dog. And then as your knees are lifted, you're turning your head and looking side to side. Just again, playing around with stability in the shoulders, and head and neck is moving freely on the cervical spine. We're adding on, and we're starting to lift one hand, one limb off the floor. See how that impacts the rest of your body here. You don't even have to raise the arm forward. You can just have your elbow bent, but just unloading, and also feel how you want to shift now the whole body weight over to the side that has the two limbs still on the floor, and you want to try and avoid that. We're practicing stability in the pelvis, in the whole body, with just lifting one hand off. This is a great way of strengthening abdominals, of checking in with alignment. Are your kidneys still lifted? As you're lifting that hand up, I don't teach the bird dog usually because that brings people too much into extension. But here I'm working with the hand going out and the arm going out to the side. The further away from midline I go, the harder the work to keep the rest of my body stable. I'm pushing down with my left hand as my right arm reaches out to the side, and I'm not shifting. I'm widening my shoulder blade on that one arm that weight bears severely. I'm pulling it underneath my armpit. And yeah, so do that again, and we're going to add a little rotation now here. We're moving slightly through the thoracic spine, the head and the neck. Notice here also the arm does not go very high. It's still in the socket. I'm not stretching into the front of my shoulder as my hand rotates up, and my head follows my hand and looks at it, and I'm severely using my right hand, pushing down into the mat. And we'll do the other side. Toes are still tucked here, and you're going to push into your left hand. Keep a slight bend in that elbow as you reach the arm up, rotating the ribs to the right, looking at that hand. And my hand is just about in the same height as my shoulder here, or my rib cage. I'm not going very much further here, and just holding that and let it cook a little bit, and then take a little break. Stability is always harder to achieve than mobility. A stretch is much easier to come by than good and healthy stabilization in your body, and that's why most people don't get it. Hands and knees, and you're starting to lift up one hand and the opposite leg, the knee and the toes. And then you're going to switch to the other side. The goal is really to not move anything besides that hand and leg lifting. No arching in the back, no big shifting side to side in your body, or rounding and arching through your spine.
And this would go into crawling. One really facilitate in a good, I mean, not saying that you have to have an injury, but just to rewire the nervous system.
Start crawling.
All the things that babies would do, literally.
Let's go ahead and lift both knees off the floor, and then also one hand. And as you're attempting now to crawl forward or backward, you want to lift the hand and the opposite toes at the same time. And from here now you can travel that, and that is some really good abdominal work for us. And then take a little break, roll out your wrists.